Hi friends, Rusty back here at Central Florida Weather live on a Tuesday here, 6/17. Got some rowdy storms moving through portions of the metro Orlando area. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for us here. So just kind of showing you the broad perspective first. We've had a cluster of storms up in Marion County, some really hefty storms over portions of Lake and Orange counties as well, and then back down into portions of Hillsborough. So that's kind of the clusters right now. Let me drop off the, let's see here. Let's drop off the special weather statements because I just want to take a look at this severe thunderstorm warning. So this is a really nasty storm right now over the Claremont area. It's moving off to the south and east at about 10 miles an hour. So severe thunderstorm warning is currently in effect for at least the next 11 minutes. It's going to be for south central Lake, west central sides of Orange County. All right. Very heavy rain, a lot of lightning as well. Claremont south down 33. Another cluster of hefty storms right now over places like Bay Hill and Metro West and Dr. Phillips and the Windermere area, kind of on the far northeastern side of this. It's not a severe thunderstorm warning for Ocoee and Orla Vista, but you get the idea. This is all kind of drifting south and east at the hour, but even more storms are developing for us here. So again, heavy rain. Gusty winds up to 60 miles an hour and maybe some inch-sized hail being produced out of this storm right now, which rolled through Claremont and then back down towards 27 south of the Claremont area. So it's going to try to get closer to places like Lake Buena Vista, Four Corners, and the Celebration area here as we go. Now it does look like, let's see if the Weather Service dropped the severe thunderstorm warning. They might have just done that. I'll take a look and see because you notice that that went away. That being said, still an extremely rowdy storm. I did see that they issued a special weather statement that extends here. So more than likely what they've done, and I'll verify this in just a second, is that they've actually dropped the severe thunderstorm warning and replaced it with a special weather statement. But look, it is still a raucous storm right now going through portions of the metro Orlando area. Let me loop this up for you guys and you can kind of look and see what's been occurring over the last 30 minutes or so. Now, first of all, you can see here that that storm was really intense over the Claremont area. The purples and the pinks there, that was some very heavy rain and more than likely even a little bit of hail on the south side of Claremont. Then these storms have just continued to kind of develop and drift off towards the east. So additional rain and heavy storms have developed over Ocoee and Pine Hills and downtown. Nice little cell here over the Windermere area at the hour as well. And you notice that the radar is saying, hey, look, that's kind of drifting north. So we've had a collision of storms over the Gotha, Metro West, Windermere areas at the hour. Generally, and more than likely, these are all going to push off to the south and to the east for us here. But again, at this point in time, these storms are relatively widespread for us here. And again, the severe thunderstorm warning looks like it has been allowed to be canceled just about 10 minutes early and replaced with special weather statements. But rowdy storms here through this area. Let me reset this just real quickly here. The orange, by the way, and you guys are going to see this on my presets, is of course our potential for tropical development. Now, we can talk about that coming up as well. Hi, best day ever. What's going on with the weather tonight? Well, again, I'm on because these storms are relatively active. They have developed fairly quickly for today. They are moving off towards the south and to the east. So I do expect the weather to be a little bit better up in the northern sides of the metro Orlando area. It'll be the central and the southeast sides of the metro Orlando area that have the opportunity for some of the most significant weather. The storms themselves are also developing across I-4. They're not severe over the Lakeland area, but there's still a lot of heavy rain right now in Tampa as well. Gibsonton on over towards the Brandon areas, East Lake and Mango. Again, not a special weather statement here, but some very heavy rain. And then we do have another special weather statement up in Marion County at the hour. This is for 40-mile-an-hour winds and some quarter-inch size hail. This is to the south and to the west of Ocala, all right? And then headed towards the Denellen area there on the far kind of southwest sides of Marion, which butts up against the northern sides of Citrus counties. So that's kind of the overall view here. But again, I popped on, obviously, because if you live in the Metro Orlando area, first of all, these storms are relatively rowdy. The lightning strike count, again, I have filtered down a bit. But if I bring that back on and then switch this to the true number of lightning strikes, so let's bring this number down, you can see actually how much lightning there is. And I want to point this out because that storm over Windermere is quite strong. Opportunity for some hail in the Windermere area, about an 80% chance, maybe up to about nickel size or slightly higher in a couple of locations. But these are hot storms, man. Yesterday afternoon, we had some hot storms in the Metro Orlando area. Today, it's the same situation as well. Do have that camera out of the, this is going to be out of the Magic Kingdom area. So I want to show you guys that. Take a look at that. You can see that the winds are beginning to pick up in accordance with the rain beginning to move through. So we'll be watching for that to develop here through the rest of the next hour or two as well. But again, this is a live look just about a mile from the Magic Kingdom for you right now. And you can see that that storm is beginning to approach that area. This is just the beginnings of it here. You can see some of the palm trees. Yeah, you know, that wind's 15, 20 miles an hour, but there'll be some higher gusts to go along with that as well. Okay, let's get back over to the radar and look at a couple of different products for us here. I want to throw on as well the gusts. These are the wind gusts. So we're going to get a good idea, like out of places like MCO, what the winds are going to be. 24-mile-an-hour wind gusts last hour at the Executive Airport in Orlando. We had some 20 and 25s up in Sanford and Leesburg as well. See if there's any gusty winds down here. Winter Haven, about a 30-mile-an-hour wind gust. Nothing crazy out of the Tampa area right now, around 25. But again, these storms are becoming more widespread in Hillsborough County, central and the western sides of Polk counties as well. And again, that one storm with some gusty winds up in Marion County. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you for liking this live stream. If you just have an opportunity, I really appreciate that. 1,200 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes out of these storms. They are raucous. Let's get back in here a little bit closer to where these storms are heaviest right now. Ocoee, Pine Hills, Orla Vista, downtown Orlando, Metro West, Gotha, Windermere, Dr. Phillips, Lake Butler, all of this pushing south and east, but relatively slowly at around 10 miles an hour. Now, this particular cell almost looks like it lifted a little bit north and then has kind of merged with the cell that was dropping south towards the 408. This cell is the one that had the severe thunderstorm warning. It is a special weather statement now, so below severe thunderstorm criteria, but it is going to be wet across the turnpike and 50, the far western sides of Orange County into the eastern sides of Lake County. 27 is going to be covered up here with some pretty rowdy weather. And again, some of the really nasty lightning, nearly 100 lightning strikes near Lake Butler and Bay Hill, especially south of Lake Butler, down towards World Drive area there, the 535. This is headed down towards Lake Buena Vista. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that camera. Even an opportunity for a little bit of hail there, right on I-4, just north of Celebration, right where the 417 comes in. So pretty raucous storms here, again, through the southern sides of Metro Orlando. Some of this has kind of strung down towards the Davenport area there in Polk County. And again, you have another cluster of storms here for the Gibsonton, Lakeland, Plant City area. Brandon, Gibsonton, getting hammered right now. 200 lightning strikes plus in those areas as well. So again, pretty nasty weather for us here on this Tuesday afternoon. I-95 is going to be quieter for the hour. Not expecting these storms to mainly get to the coastline. If they do, I think it'd be far southern sides of Brevard County. But that being said, more than likely these storms will die out before they move there, considering they're only moving right now, again, southeast at around 10 miles an hour. So let's check back in. We do have our special weather statement. We have a flood advisory for the eastern side of Marion County. Again, the Weather Service did allow the severe thunderstorm warning to expire about 10 minutes early. So I was just taking a look at that. So again, guys, if you have a specific question about the forecast, drop it in the comments section below. Appreciate you guys joining me live here. Central Florida Weather Live on this Tuesday at 6:27. So again, this special weather statement will go till 6:30. The other special weather statement will go all the way until 7 o'clock. And on the northwest side, this is where we have the heaviest weather activity right now. Metro West, Windermere, Lake Butler, Bay Hill, Dr. Phillips, towards Tangelo Park and Oak Ridge. So just south of the downtown Orlando area, I-4, where JYP is, then even back down towards Mall of Millennia. There's the beach line. There is up towards Millennia right there, Tangelo Park area. Here's where the turnpike comes in. There's Millennia. So again, these are the areas as this moves south and east at 10, they're going to be more impacted by this particular cell. Okay, let's go back over, take a look at this camera. There you go. Live look again to the Lake Buena Vista area here. And that's where we have an issue, no doubt about it, right? That's where I expect us to see this wind and rain pick up. It's going to get a little bit rowdier in these spots here over the next, say, 30 minutes or so. Gusty winds, heavy downpours, a lot of cloud to ground lightning. These are going to be noisy storms moving through the central and the southwest sides of Metro Orlando. Not a ton of wind out of there yet, but that will be picking up as well. Okay, so again, this special weather statement that includes a lot of central and the southern sides of Lake County. We'll see if they reissue it. I'll be curious to see. More than likely, they're not going to extend this because this special weather statement, which is for a lot of the south side of the Metro Orlando area, is going to encompass the areas that I think does have the worst weather. So more than likely, this one will fall. We'll have this one special weather statement for the south central sides of Metro Orlando. Now, south of there, very heavy rain, a lot of lightning, Davenport, back down towards Champions Gate area. Again, all that moving south and east. Let's drop the Melbourne radar, and I'm going to bring on our base radar here. We'll loop it up over the last couple of hours. And again, you can see the evolution of these storms, right? Had one special weather statement up in Bellevue. That's where they have the flood advisory right now. Had a severe thunderstorm warning on the far northwest sides of Marion County. That's now a special weather statement headed towards Denellen. We had a special weather statement earlier in DeLand, Orange City, Deltona. Heavy rain and gusty winds there a little bit earlier. You can see Sanford's winds picked up to 30 miles an hour. Had a special weather statement in the Apopka area towards Lockhart and Altamont Springs. So these storms have just continued to propagate to the south and to the east with a little bit of forward speed. Now, the lightning has gotten more prominent here. You can see that lightning count over the last 30 minutes really go up, over 600 lightning strikes in some of these areas, and these special weather statements continue. So that's what's happening in Metro Orlando. These storms continue to dive back down towards the I-4 corridor as well, towards Dover and Brandon. In the Bloomingdale area there, there's East Lake and Mango. And again, this healthy storm continues to track this one going south and west towards Denellen. Now, this particular cell as well does have the opportunity for a little bit of hail with it, about a 70% chance and some half-inch size hail. So again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Get an opportunity. Thank you for liking the video, this live stream. Thank you again for subscribing to Central Florida Weather Live if you haven't subscribed yet. Going to be some rowdy, noisy storms for us here. So again, the orange area, we can talk more about it here in a second, is the actual development area of that potential. Here, let me put that back on for you guys, right? We have that wave way out here in the potential development area. This would be way down the road. I don't expect it to have direct impacts to Florida, but it's out there. That would be early next week, by the way. We could see some surf and sea conditions kicked up earlier than that. But look at all the lightning strikes here, guys. These are really nasty, raucous storms getting going right now. Metro West, Bay Hill, Lake Buena Vista. We've got that camera. We got to get back to it. Still haven't had the most significant impacts get there, but it's close. Winds have actually died down a little bit as well, but some good heavy rain. Again, flood advisory has been issued for Marion County, so it gives you an idea. That has just gone away as a matter of fact as well, but it gives you an idea that we've had some pockets of pretty darn heavy rain to go along with this as well. These are just relatively noisy storms at the hour. Sorry guys, just behind the scenes, I'm taking a look at my mapping. No big deal. Our color will be a little bit off, but that's all right. We'll have more of a black background. So again, this storm is a nasty one right now. Metro West, Windermere, Millenia, moving off to the south and east at only 10. So down the road, it's going to be Conway, Belle Isle, the airport. Any flights coming in here starting around 7 o'clock could have some issues. Lake Nona, Medical City, Buenaventura Lakes, the Kissimmee area. Celebration right now getting some pretty good storms. You can see that. Look at the I-4 corridor right now. Some fairly heavy rainfall to go along with the gusty winds. And again, if you're just tuning in, we had a severe thunderstorm warning for Lake County that was allowed to expire. It's been replaced by this severe weather statement. But the main part of this is that the lightning is very, very intense right now. Look at all these lightning strikes. Within this, could we have some small hail towards the Lake Butler area? Absolutely, it's a possibility. Some pea-sized hail, not out of the question. Windermere, Bay Hill, Dr. Phillips, Metro West, Tangelo Park. Then this storm is picking up again down towards Four Corners, Champions Gate, I-4 down into Polk County, Polk City, Lakeland. It's a pretty rowdy storm over the Lakeland area right now. Highland City, Plant City, and I-4 again. Can you imagine just trying to drive I-4 from Lakeland into Tampa right now? There's Dover and Mango, Seffner, all extremely intense rain. Let's bring back on our wind gusts. So Kissimmee now up to 18, downtown 24. So this special weather statement will go until the top of the hour. Hi, Noble Pills. Appreciate you guys. Again, thanks for joining in. Central Florida Weather Live. We're live here on a Tuesday. Nice to see you. How you doing? 6:35. Pretty good storms here at the Metro Orlando area. A lot of lightning with this as well. Now, these storms did propagate off towards the south in a relatively good fashion here. So if you're just joining me on this live stream, let's take a look at this over the last couple of hours. You can see all the yellow boxes are special weather statements. So started up in Deltona, DeLand, Sanford, towards Leesburg and Bellevue and Marion County. Then we had that severe thunderstorm warning not that long ago right there. And I got to tell you, that storm on the southern side of Lake County right here, that was a pretty darn nasty storm just south of Claremont. Look at all the lightning. Look how that pulsed up, right? Went from 20 lightning strikes to over 400 lightning strikes in that same location. That's what prompted the severe thunderstorm warning. Luckily, it was a pulse storm, meaning it really intensified quickly, and in about 15 minutes, rained itself out. Now, is it completely done? No, but has it dropped below severe criteria? Yes, it has. Okay, so now we continue a little bit farther south into the east. So let me get back over to the live radar. And again, now it's going to be the south side of Orlando, right along the I-4 corridor. So Millenia, Oak Ridge, Dr. Phillips, Lake Buena Vista, the I-Drive corridor, heavier rain towards Celebration. And you notice that some of these arrows are pointing north and west. It's because we've actually seen a few more storms develop south and then move into this main cluster. But the cluster itself is beginning to kind of propagate, if anything else, south and east at around 10 miles an hour. No rain as of yet for MCO, but obviously the weather is coming. So I'm sure that they're trying to get the last flights in before the airfield gets hammered pretty good. Again, could there be a little bit of lightning here and there, or excuse me, a little bit of hail here towards the Four Corners area? The opportunity for a bit of hail there as well, even down towards Celebration. The rain is going to be lighter now up north, Winter Park, Altamont Springs, Mount Dora, Orange City. Still could have some decent rain even towards the Edgewater area. We've got the one cell up here in Marion County. It's not a special weather statement anymore. It is weakening as it gets towards Denellen. But again, 34 lightning strikes with that one, so still relatively intense. And then again, back down into kind of the southern and the eastern sides of Tampa. Gibsonton, this is probably the strongest storm right here. 100% chance for hail, maybe some relatively large hail there. There's not a severe thunderstorm warning. There's a special marine warning. That's what you see in blue, but there's not a severe thunderstorm warning for that one. So it's close. Ramona asks, anything up by the Sanford Airport? Ramona, you're fine. The storms have moved through your area. Still a little bit of gusty winds and light rain, but everything is moving south, okay? So you'll have some of that kind of veil of light rain to continue, but nothing's going to be more intense than that. Everything that is intense is now south of your area. So it could still rain for the next hour or two in the Sanford area, but I don't expect it to pick back up at any intensity. Sharon says, still having a lot of lightning in Forest City, although the storm seemed to have passed. Thanks, Sharon. Yeah, that's the other thing too, guys. I mean, the lightning is super intense. And remember, lightning is not a factor for a severe thunderstorm warning or a special weather statement or anything like that. You can have the most intense rain and the most intense lightning you've ever seen, and you would not have a severe thunderstorm warning. The criteria are winds over 60 miles an hour and or inch-sized hail, and that's it, okay? So we could be raining cats and dogs. We could have a huge cluster of lightning, and you're not going to get a severe thunderstorm warning, all right? Now, some of this lightning, again, will be sticking around a bit, and that's one of the things, too. You know, 116 lightning strikes just in this spot right now. Let's go back over to our camera. Still looking relatively good here, I got to say. I thought we'd see at least a little bit more wind, if anything else, from there. You can see that lightning strike in the distance, though. That is going to be a story. Best day ever says thunder is starting to roll in right now. East side of Orlando, close to Azalea Park. Thank you, best day ever. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, this is a live camera just 1 mile from the Magic Kingdom. We are looking south and west from this shot. Again, one of the live cameras here at Central Florida Weather Live, and the hopes is to bring you more of those as we continue to develop our coverage here. But again, you can see, and I'll throw the Melbourne radar into motion over the last half hour. You notice that, again, even a little bit of this activity lifts north and then merges with the southern side, all right? And so for Sharon, up in Sanford, sure, there'll be some light rain up in portions of Seminole and Volusia counties, even the northern side of Lake, and even into the northern sides of Orange County now. We had some heavier storm activity over the Apopka area. It's now light rain. Same thing with Wekiva Springs, Altamont Springs, Lockhart, Maitland. Even towards Oakland right now, we're looking a little bit better. You get south of there, though, you get south of 50, this is still some rowdy weather. Again, a ton of lightning going along with this. Metro West, Windermere, Millennia, Dr. Phillips, Celebration, Four Corners. That's the loop over the last 30 minutes. Little cell merger right here over the 429. Western Way towards Lake Buena Vista. If you know this area of southwest Orange County, then of course you would follow 429 all the way back down into the turn, and 429 all the way back down. The way that's labeled, it almost looks like it's 192, but 192, of course, is west to east. 429 is north to south. And there you go. So you can see these cells just come right together in Lake Buena Vista. Pretty heavy rain over that region right now as well. So special weather statement goes until the top of the hour. Storms are still intensifying in portions of Polk County. The numbers that you see are wind gusts. Okay. So far, any of the reporting stations, nothing outrageous. But look at the storms now through Polk and portions of Hillsborough counties. They're getting pretty rowdy. No special weather statements here. But these are relatively intense storms. Nice little storm developing over Palm Harbor in Tarpon Springs. Again, here at Central Florida Weather Live, we're going to cover all of Central Florida, north to south, east to west. Okay? It's one of the great things about this is we have that opportunity to do so, right? No geographical boundaries here. I just want you to notice all this lightning. To me, that's the big story. These are intense storms. Over 1,200 lightning strikes in just the last 15 minutes along the I-4 corridor. Again, could you imagine driving Orlando to Tampa right now? I hope there's no accidents, A, but you want to talk about a crappy drive. Whew. No good. If you guys wouldn't mind following Noble Pill's little thought there and hitting that like button for me right now, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to Central Florida Weather Live and you're looking for these live streams when we have some active weather here in Central Florida, appreciate you finding the channel. Appreciate you subscribing for you right now. Again, I'm only on when we have something to talk about here. So have those notifications on because you're not going to get inundated with notifications on the channel, but that will let you know when I'm live so you know you want to tune in to see what's happening. Maybe it's your area today that's getting hit the hardest. Right now, it's going to be portions of the south side of Metro Orlando, close to downtown, but a little bit farther south, Millennia, Dr. Phillips, and then really back down towards I-Drive, Celebration, Lake Buena Vista. Now, eventually, these storms are going to be able to track their way south and east. Right now, this little cell merger, you see that cell over Celebration that moved north and west? That's kind of slowed down the southeast movement right now, but eventually that forward speed should pick back up again, and we'll see just how far east it gets, whether it really impacts places like the MCO, which of course is Orlando International, or Meadow Woods, or Hunters Creek, or Buenaventura Lakes, Pine Castle, Oak Ridge for sure. And again, you can just see this heavy storm continues in this area. You have a specific question about the forecast, you can absolutely drop it in the comment section below. Thank you to my friends in the comments who have already commented on what's happening right now. I appreciate that. Letting me know, again, that's great. Gives me kind of the real-time information for us here. I want to try and do something real quickly here on my tablet. So give me just 1 second here. For some reason, well, that's not going to work, is it? I'll deal with it later. For some reason, for how I signed into YouTube, I was getting an error message on my live stream. I have it on my phone, so I know I'm live, and you guys are commenting, so I know I'm live. There we go. Okay. Excellent. For some reason, I was getting an error message, and it concerned me for a second. But we're good. But now, I can see myself, and I can see your chat here on the tablet. It makes it a little bit easier than having to watch this darn phone. All right, gang. So let's keep an eye on what's happening here. Let's reset. I'm going to reset real quick. Now again, when there is tropical information to talk about here at Central Florida, we'll talk about it. Obviously, you can see this orange area, and this is the potential tropical development with a tropical wave, which is way out here in the Western Atlantic. There it is right there. So maybe if you have not heard the news, if you will, there is a 60% chance that this could develop late this weekend and into early next week. All right. Now, Florida itself has an opportunity to be impacted by this. Okay. But more than likely, it's going to stay off towards our east. There's also a chance that this may not even spin up into a tropical depression until it's north of the Bahamas. But for now, we are under the cone here from the hurricane center. Again, that is not a track. It is just where the disturbance could potentially develop down the road. But that's why the orange is covering us here in Central Florida, is because we're in that area. Okay. So let's drop that. And again, if there's a tropical system that will be impacting us here in Central Florida, I'll be live covering that. So it's another thing we'll do here on Central Florida Weather Live. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Right now, the most active weather is on the southern sides of Metro Orlando, Dr. Phillips, Lake Buena Vista, Celebration. Let's go back over to our camera. Some good rumbles of thunder outside my house right now, I can tell you that. Once again, the winds aren't significant with that, and that's probably one reason why that the Hurricane Center, that the Weather Service out of Melbourne actually dropped the severe thunderstorm warning. If you look kind of on the top of your screen, that's the horizon, obviously, and from time to time, you'll see a nice little lightning flash there. They're obviously getting some rain down in Lake Buena Vista, but that's okay so far, right? You know, that's not going to prompt any big concerns. That's a pretty good just summer thunderstorm here in that area, but it's more intense in a couple of other spots as well. So again, that is included in the special weather statement, but the live look there says at least near the Magic Kingdom, we're doing pretty good. Hopefully for our friends who are trying to get some flights in and out of MCO, this will not be as significant as it moves off towards the east. All right, special weather statement continues, by the way, for the next 13 minutes. Now, look at all this lightning still between 33 and 27. I know it's a pretty rural area, but it just gives you an idea of the noise of these storms. These are rowdy, rowdy storms. Downtown Orlando, just getting out of it. Everything is pushing south and southeast. So for Metro Orlando, generally speaking, the farther north that you go, there's still going to be some rain, even up towards Mount Dora and Eustis and Sanford, but it's going to be relatively light, just kind of that veil of clouds continuing with some spotty showers still the forecast. Again, winds 24 last hour at the Executive Airport, same thing up in Sanford, 25 there in Leesburg. We had a heavier storm in Marion County. That's getting over Denellen right now, but it's not a special weather statement or a severe thunderstorm warning. And again, pretty good lightning right over 41 in Denellen at the hour. So they're getting hit pretty hammered, pretty hard there as well. Nice storm up towards Gainesville as well. That's a good storm, over 75 west of Gainesville. Special weather statement in effect for that one. And again, just on my preset, that orange is going to pop on. Now the storms here, these are healthy. Now they're not special weather statements, but again, the lightning right now, Gibsonton, Brandon, Bloomingdale, Dover, Mango, special weather statement, special marine warning, right, for Tampa Bay. That storm is offshore slightly because that one might be producing some hail. So right there, Gibsonton just moved offshore. That's why we have the special marine warning. And then you follow again I-4. Just look at all this activity. Go back over here, loop this up over the last couple of hours if you're just tuning in. This is kind of how the storms evolved on this Tuesday. Had a pretty good line through portions of Marion and Lake and Volusia counties. We had some special weather statements. We had the same situation up in Marion County. That was the one that headed towards Denellen. The storms intensified a bit here late in the 5 o'clock hour, early in the 6 o'clock hour over Lake County, prompting a severe thunderstorm warning for a time around and just south of Claremont. That storm could have been producing some 60-mile-an-hour winds and some inch-sized hail. That has been replaced with this special weather statement, and that's what continues at the hour. So maybe this storm has dropped just below severe thunderstorm criteria, but it's still a pretty darn rowdy storm on the south side of Metro Orlando. Four Corners, Polk City, Champions Gate, those areas will all get hammered relatively quickly as well. Again, you have a specific question about the forecast, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. One reason why I'm doing this, friends, is to have interaction with you guys. So if you have a minute, just to drop a comment and say hi. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you guys are up to on this Tuesday. You guys know what I'm up to on this Tuesday. Just trying to keep you guys up to date here. And again, very healthy storms with a fair amount of lightning going along for the ride here. The intensity should probably have plateaued. I will say that, okay? Doesn't mean that we couldn't spike an individual part of these cells that ramp back up, but generally speaking, now that we're getting towards 7 o'clock, we've raked the atmosphere a little bit here. But again, it was another hot, steamy day, wasn't it? So plenty of heat energy to work with. And again, the winds are very, very fresh. But am I seeing something in the 40 or 50 mile an hour range, even back down into Tampa? Not at the hour, no. About a 29 there. 32 over here towards the Lakeland area. Kissimmee had what, about an 18? And then this is, again, trying to eke its way towards MCO. So rainfall rates are pretty high. Let's take a look at the winds. And of course, we can look at the terminal Doppler as well here, which of course is right at MCO. Yeah, at least from the Melbourne radar, we're not picking up a lot of wind on the northern edge here. Switch over to the terminal Doppler. And again, if you don't know, each major airport has its own radar. Okay, they're called terminal Dopplers. They have a very small range. They're only designed to basically look at the weather around the airfield, right? But I can access those, and they're very high quality, high resolution, and especially when it comes to wind, they're great to look at here. And because we're shooting that beam very close to the ground in these areas, these are almost basically ground truth winds. The brighter the reds, the brighter the greens, the stronger the winds. So I see 25, 30 towards Lake Buena Vista Celebration. See if there's anything here towards Meadow Woods. MCO itself. By the way, the terminal, the Doppler is located just south of the 417. It's not actually at the airport, but it's close. Still some fresh winds out here around 27 in Lake County towards Four Corners. So it does look like Four Corners area has probably the strongest winds. Some gusts of 30 to 40. Down towards Champions Gate doesn't look like much. Celebration looks pretty good as well. So there you go. Kind of on the western side, western flank of these storms, a little bit stronger winds. Go back over to reflectivity. And again, we don't get a big elongated view here, but we get a nice look at these storms. Rolling into Celebration at the hour. Okay, let's go back out here. Let's go back over to our Melbourne radar. And again, the orange is our tropical development area, where we have to concern ourselves with that potentially down the road. I'm not extremely concerned right now. I think it's going to be very weak off of our East Coast and should stay off of our East Coast for now. But we'll see if the models want to pick up on something else. Again, that's going to be late in the weekend, so we got plenty of time to watch at least. But here comes that rowdy storm down 27. Celebration, Lake Buena Vista. Weather is improving right now in downtown Orlando. Again, on the northern sides, you can see some of that widespread but lighter rain. That's going to continue. That won't change. Active weather here in Tampa. Again, all the lightning, nearly 500 lightning strikes in just the past 15 minutes. So again, friends, to help grow this community, if you know anyone who lives in these areas, right, you think they might be interested in it, share this channel with them. I really appreciate that. And again, we cover the Tampa area, St. Pete. We go up close to Gainesville, obviously Metro Orlando, Daytona Beach, Melbourne, all the areas in between. So all these storms are just below, I would say, special weather statement criteria. And we still have this one special weather statement here. It does go for the next 3 minutes. So we'll wait to see whether the Weather Service out of Melbourne continues that. But it is beginning to get a little bit closer to the airport. Certainly raining pretty heavy right now through portions of I-Drive. Let's check out our camera again. Not a bad shot. You can see a nice little lightning strike there. Winds never really picked up in this shot. And I see the drops of water, so we know it's not frozen. Still getting some pretty good rain. You can see the storm drain there on the side. So we're beginning to pick up a little bit of water. There was a flood advisory again for the eastern sides of Marion County earlier, but we're good to go now. So again, that's the live look, just 1 mile from the Magic Kingdom. And we will continue to provide more cameras as well. It's another part of our rollout, if you will, here at Central Florida Weather Live, is to have the opportunity to bring you some live looks across the entire area as well. So look for that. This cell is ramped up a little bit of intensity towards Champions Gate 27, I-4 corridor. Again, not severe, but a lot of lightning. Everything, generally speaking, is moving southeast at 10. And you want to talk about a drive that you wouldn't want to have. I know I've already mentioned it, but just look that basically the most intense part of each of these cells is right over I-4. And you know people aren't that patient, so I hope there's no accidents there. But that's the kind of heavy rain that can cause hydroplaning, especially when you're talking about the speeds that obviously you can pick up on I-4. So for the remainder of the night, these storms move south and east, okay? Behind it, we'll still have some light rain left over with those stratus clouds, those gray clouds that kind of just get stuck behind some of these intense cells. And it will take an hour or two to rain itself out through a lot of Orange and Seminole counties, even into Volusia County as well. Some light rain up in Marion County. And then the storms here will probably stay more active between 7 and 8 o'clock. Gibsonton, Brandon, Dover, Plant City, on over towards Polk City. Again, at this point in time, not severe, but the lightning is quite impressive. Here's a trick for you guys. Green screen, green cup. Not on purpose. So the really interesting thing about this too is that if I put it in front of me, even though I'm wearing a different color, you can actually see the map through it. This leads to all kind of Halloween ideas, right? Never did that in my TV career. It's kind of frowned upon most of the places I worked at. All right, guys, so let's see. We've hit 7 o'clock. It looks like the last special weather statement is done. So let's go over this one more time. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning north of Gainesville towards Alachua or Alachua, depending on what part of Florida you might be from. Again, expect there to be rain. Orange City, Deltona, Sanford, Lake Mary, Winter Springs, Altamont Springs, Apopka, Winter Park, downtown Orlando, but not severe. This storm is losing some of its punch, but still some heavy rain and lightning. Lake Buena Vista, Celebration, Four Corners, Champions Gate, towards Hunters Creek, Meadowwoods, Buenaventura Lakes, Kissimmee, Campbell, Lake Nona, Medical City. It gets a little bit stronger. Champions Gate South, Davenport, Haines City, Polk City especially, from Polk City all the way towards Lakeland and Plant City. This is a very rough drive, a lot of lightning still, heavy rainfall, ponding on roadways, isolated flooding of low-lying areas are all possible with this kind of activity. Again, I wouldn't want to be driving in it. I know a lot of folks have to. You know, thankfully we're past the peak of the commute home, but it still only is just 7 o'clock. Dover, Brandon, Bloomingdale, East Lake Mingo, Tampa, Gibsonton, and then that storm pushing off the coastline. And then areas off towards the south. And that's our active weather. Again, real quickly, if you're just tuning in, the orange that you see is from the National Hurricane Center with a 60% chance of potential tropical development late this weekend or early next week. I think it's going to stay to our east. I don't know if we're even going to have direct impacts, but we are under that potential development region. And if there is any tropical activity here that directly impacts Central Florida, I will be keeping an eye on that and we'll be live for that as well. Okay, friends, now that the last special weather statement has expired, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye for tonight. I appreciate you guys tuning in. As we leave, if you wouldn't mind doing me a big favor, hitting the like button for me. If you haven't subscribed to Central Florida Weather Live and you want your latest live updates when weather is happening in Central Florida, I'll be uncovering it for you. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. I'll be back on whenever the weather warrants it, and I'll see you then right here at Central Florida Weather Live.
you.